okay to get a car, it's okay to get, a house. This is basic necessities are okay. But the things we want health, we want strength, we want solidity, we want happiness, we want peace, we want joy, we want love, we want compassion, doesn't exist in this world, not in the material world. It exists in the spirit, in the being, in the Tao, in essence. But people confuse it with object. They think if I get this object, I will be fulfilled. They get the object, then they get bored. Then they look for something else and for something else. If the people begin to think that all the objects remind me of feelings inside, this object make me happy. Happiness is inside me, and the object awaken it. You know? So happiness is not in the object. The object is object. A car or something. It's object. But the feeling isn't in my soul, is in my being. And the ego thinks if I get the object, the feeling will come. When this condition is met, it allows a little bit of happiness. Then it closes it again, another object. So we are always hungry for things in the material, and that will never finish. When we begin to turn and look at everything we want from the world, except the basics, survival, food, these things, this the world can't give us in the material plane, but everything else that we want, love, joy, creativity, freedom, is in another realm, in the realm of the spirit, in the Tao, in the essence. If we think about it, then we begin to be free from the greed about the material.
Wonderful.
Yes. Yes. So we begin to discover where the real richness is. Why those great Taoist masters live a very humble life, very simple life. When once I hear something very amazing, maybe the Buddhists now will fight me. They say that in China there are the three immortal ones, the big three immortal ones. You know about them? Okay. I always ask the Christians, they don't know. I ask the Chinese, I ask the Muslims. They believe that there are the immortal ones, beings who reached a high level of spiritual evolution, that when they die, they don't dissolve. They continue to incarnate and evolve and be more wise and more loving and more enlightened and all of those, which is very beautiful to develop. They say, I think there are three big ones, and I think the three big ones represent the three aspects of being. One of them represent the Tao itself, the absolute being. One of them represent the individuated soul. And one of them represent the generator that generates the creation. These are the three immortals. And I think there is a monastery or something in Shanghai. A friend of mine, I think it's Shanghai or somewhere else. I will check. He went there and saw the statue of those three immortal ones. And he really felt like these are really beautiful representation of the three aspects of being. Action, self, and self-grand being, all of those things. Then they awakened many, and there are many immortal ones. And they are like hierarchy, most high and, like in any religion, like Christ and the saints, different things. So they say that when Buddha, this is where it catches, when Buddha was sitting and meditating, they say that you cannot be enlightened unless a master or a teacher awaken you. You cannot awaken by yourself. So they say that the three immortal ones came to Buddha and transmitted enlightenment to him. Now we have trouble with the Buddhists. Sorry, but so to think that, what does that mean? What is the treasure in that culture? Who are those three immortal ones? Like in our language, I translate them, one is the absolute, and one is the point of light, and one is the stupa, the embodiment of the karma activities, positive karma, and one is the unique expression of life, and one is the being itself. I translate it simply because my knowledge is simple and it sounds wonderful. They have it there. I found it there, you know, and I found another, the same thing, Christ and Mary and another. It's all the same treasure of the soul, human soul. I wish someday those students who are now awakening and very excited to think that way, to approach their awakening with integration and bringing those treasures.
Wonderful.
Who are those three immortals? What do they mean? The three kings. What are the three kings? The three centers. They all bow to the star, the point of light. You can retranslate and bring beauty and treasure and art and wisdom of what China is about. Preserve it, live it, enrichen it, and help the world. Because now, you know how it is like America is like, Europe is much more moderate, but America went extreme. They just bulldoze everything. You know? I pray that they not fall for it.
I'm gonna trouble you with one more quick question. This is for our students who are already working in the Diamond Logos in China. If you could just give them a few words of encouragement or your blessing or whatever feels right to you.
First, hello. My love and greetings to all of you, and I'm really grateful for the time I shared with you. You know, how you really were so honoring and so respectful and so present that helped me bring the teaching. Teacher cannot bring the teaching if the students don't help, if the students are not open. And I remember those days I was cruising like, you know, like a peacock in the sky, you know, very heavy. So I'm grateful, and I send you my love and greetings. And I say what has been said many times, don't give up. The journey sometimes is very difficult. The journey sometimes is very disappointing. The journey sometimes to be more, seem to be more pain than to go unconscious, or more painful, more suffering than just to take, I don't know, the surface, you know, excitement and light and colors. That is not deep enough. Stay with depth. No matter how difficult it is, stay till your bones begin to breathe, till the marrow of your bones become purified and become the Taoist pearl. The marrow becomes the pearl. And if you can purify the marrow of the bones, you heal the body, you heal the psyche, you heal the self, you heal consciousness, you heal the environment around you. So please, from the depth of my heart, this is most precious because this is what we are. This is what we are made of. The personality is a replacement. We lose this, we make something like it, you know. But it's not it. You know? So in the work we are trying to get the original thing, the authentic things. You know, what is the human soul? What is the human mind? What is the human consciousness? What is the human body? Is it what we think it is, or is it something more rich, more beautiful? That all of that. But it's difficult because sometimes when you start going deep, all the pains and memories of childhood come. You know, everything that happened to you, your history is registered in your body. And sometimes it comes like 2 or 3 years, nothing is happening except, you know, like feeling bad and pain and crying and all of those things. Go through it. Go through it. Relax, breathe, meditate, because the reward that comes, the treasure that comes, has no price. And if I have a moment to say, the Taoist poem, remember, there is a book, maybe the student can look at it. It's in translation, but I'm sure they have it they can find it in Chinese, about 2 beautiful high beings, poets. They were called even fools. They lived in mountains in China called Cold Mountain, you know. And those friends, ancient friends. They believe that they are very, very ancient sage of China. Came and were friends and journey together and meet and all of those things. And they wrote beautiful poems, brilliant poems. And the poem I mentioned in the retreat, I really like to offer it, that the student take it seriously. I think the name of the Shehte, I think the poet name, he says, in my former days, in the old days of sheer poverty, when I was so poor, I counted everybody else's wealth. They have a car, they have this, I counted, and they have that. In my former days of sheer poverty, complete poverty, I counted everybody else's wealth. Today, I thought and thought and thought it through deeply. Everyone must make their own wealth. So I dug and dug and dug and dug, and I found crystal pearl. Crystal pearl inside, deep, that's the self, the jewel inside crystal pearl. I forgot the two other poems. Then he says that even if this blue-eyed foreigner, and he's referring to Bodhidharma, who brought the teaching to China Buddhism, even if this Buddha comes and asks to buy this pearl, I say it has no price. Nothing, no material wealth can give you this crystal. Material wealth will take you out. Come back. Go deep. It's waiting. It's waiting. And all of you waiting, this precious being. So please continue, persevere. Bring knowledges here and there. Diamond Logos is not close to anything. It embraces all the lineages, because each of them have a treasure. And we embrace it. And thanks for this, thanks for sharing, really.
Thank you very much for your time.
It's my
I think
pleasure.
this will really be enjoyed by many people in China, and they'll learn a lot from
I
it.
hope so. My love to all of them, and my protection. Really, I pray for them, and I try to download the Holy City to guide their steps, to walk in the modern world, to benefit from its freshness and newness, take away the poverty and disease, but to also bring the treasure that they have, the richness that they have, for themselves and for us. We need those things. Really need it. I was surprised by, it's so different, because I grew up in America around Chinese American, and they are so much Americanized. I always get surprised, and then when I saw the Chinese, how different that is, the culture, the dead, they might think this is just sometimes in therapy. They say, oh, this is just fake behavior, be free, act out, yell, scream. No, these are treasures. Let go of too much control, but don't throw the baby with the bathwater.
Thank you again for your
So
time.
much, really.
Really appreciate
Thank
it.
all of you for this, for coming, and
Yeah.
I hope I can go there again. I really loved what I shared.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the share.
Maybe you come here so we can see you together.
Maybe we all take a pictures.
Yes,
Yeah,
we can
yeah,
take part of it.
Wow, that was
We
fantastic.
video.
Oh, thanks.
You really, it's like the diamond body or something, because I ask a simple question, but you really,
Try to.
really is going to help people. It really is.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Can we take pictures? You
No, it's running now.
you count the time. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah, I
dun.
think